Walt Disney World fan favorites are returning this summer for the first time since before the pandemic. The Disneyland Resort theme parks are bringing back a special themed attraction and closing down one of its most popular Disneyland Park restaurants. Disney Park character meet and greets are about to get huggable once again. And is Remy's Ratatouille adventure worth your EPCOT time? All that and the latest Disney Parks news and discussion. Kingdom Report Live starts right after the countdown.
Come to this happy place. Welcome.
Kicking things off like we always do with that live look outside at the Disneyland Resort. It is a cloudy Saturday at Disneyland. Taking a look across the rooftops of Tomorrowland all the way out to the Disneyland Hotel. What a beautiful day it is in here, though, at the Kingdom Report Live studios. Hello, everybody. Wade for the Kingdom Report, back with you once again to bring all the latest Disney Parks news and discussion. It is indeed a beautiful day, like I said, here at the Kingdom Report studios, because for the first time, everybody that's affiliated with this show and has brought you so much of the magic over the course of the last 2 years, we're all on the show together for once. I don't think we've ever had this happen before. Who is all of us? Let me introduce some folks straight away. Theme park analyst and all-around terrific dude, Tyler Crouch, travel agent, and all-around lovely lady, Katrina Manzone. And in addition to that, here in a part of the studio I didn't even know existed, theme park journalist, IO9 writer, friend of the show, non-talk host, ladies and gentlemen, Sabina Graves. Hey, gang.
Hello.
Hi.
Good to be here.
What a nice treat to see all of you in one place.
It's like a whole happy family.
What a
you
party.
Know what I mean?
What a party.
I'm expecting catering Chipotle after this. That's what we're getting, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Not
Extra guac.
Not Chipotle. We're high class around here.
Oh, no.
There you go. Yeah, only the best of
Sounds
asada
good.
steak for all of us.
Oh,
Premium
yes.
cuts. That's our
Yay.
life, yes.
Tasty.
Oh, I love it too. And my friends, we like to reward you for watching this broadcast. All you got to do is leave a comment underneath this very video. As soon as the live show is over, head on over to the Kingdom Report on YouTube. This Kingdom Report live episode, as soon as the live video is over, you can leave a comment underneath this video, and the comment is really a phrase that pays. What is the phrase that pays this week? Well, it's none other than Space Mountain. Space Mountain is the phrase that pays. Leave that underneath this video after the live video posts. Leave the comment, between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. As long as you leave that comment, you've been entered to win your very own Kingdom Report mug, as long as you write Space Mountain in the comments section. If you are the winner, we will reach out to you, ask you what color you want, and where we can send one of these little beauties for you. Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully you are too. Space Mountain in the comment section down below. Hey, we are not going to waste time here. There is a lot of in-park Disney news to talk about this week. Certainly, the universe of Disney has been a wild one this past week, but we are going to focus on what's been going on inside the park in terms of news, because there's a lot going on for the Disney fans and all of us. So let's not waste any time. It's time to review some Disney news. Disney News Review time. Taking a look at some of our favorite stories of the past week within Disney parks from coast to coast and around the world. Friend of the show, theme park journalist Sabina Graves is here with us. And Sabina, you recently spoke with Imagineers regarding the immersive Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel and its future. You have a bit of a scoop for us. What did you learn in your interview?
Yes, I had the amazing opportunity to talk to Alex Lee, who's an entertainment producer for the Halcyon and just all around in Disney parks. He is someone who even worked on Savi's workshop, which was a great point in our conversation because he got to see the evolution of the lightsabers from doing the whole ceremony to actually getting to train on board the Galactic Star Cruiser with lightsabers. And that is such an incredible thing. But one of the best points of our conversation was the idea that, like, as they've gotten more guests on board, they're starting to see sort of the differentiation between the casual fan and like the super fan and how they're reacting to the immersive storytelling aspect of the 2-day experience. And one of the points that we've really touched on was how a lot of people, despite that hefty price tag, really want to find ways to come back again and come back soon to continue the story. But as we all know, it kind of really just focuses on a maiden voyage over and over again, right? So with guests who have, had different reactions, especially like a lot of the super fans who really want to bring in a lot of the mythology, we were discussing how, seeing how they've acted at Galaxy's Edge with events like Life Day and kind of organizing these awesome sort of community, just unofficial days to come dressed up in the robes and everything, how that could impact something like the Star Cruiser. And he said that it's something that Imagineers are aware of and really considering finding ways to incorporate into the storyline during those times. But not only that, also incorporating formal events.
Wow.
Which,
That's cool.
For some of us who want to do something a bit more, I guess, themed, I think that sounds like a really great option.
How exciting to know that this is a living, breathing thing that they're going to continue to sort of mold and sculpt over the course of time, and that just in this sort of initial rush of guests that have come to stay with them, they've learned from it, are picking up on things and going, you know what, and let's alter this here, let's change that there. Certainly, it's been a place that I know has had a lot of interest surrounding it just out of this new concept, right? This new concept that Disney is exploring and trying for the first time. Certainly, I'm not a Star Wars fan. I'm not even somebody that's, remotely interested, unfortunately, in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, you
I've
were a
tried.
Jedi.
I am a Jedi, naturally.
Oh, it just came to you one day. There was no training necessary or anything like that.
It's something that
It was just-
oftentimes comes upon you without knowing. And then when you wake up one morning and you go, is that
the Force?
Is that the Force in my heart? Is that the Force is in my heart?
I think you might be a Sith.
So that whoa. You're a red lightsaber person. I can see it. I don't like that, but
They're kind of the coolest looking ones. Anyway,
for somebody who's not necessarily wrapped up in the Star Wars universe and really super engaged with it or anything like that, and it's not that they don't tell great stories. They certainly do. I appreciate some of the movies. I'm just not a Star Wars nut. However, this place that they've created certainly can be a gateway to an awful lot of additional immersive hotel stays, immersive resorts in the future if it's successful. So it's really cool to me to hear that they are being creative and responsive in what they're learning and doing it so fast.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know it just definitely comes with the trepidation of we love our Imagineers and how they really want to provide a lot of really interesting experiences that they talk about, especially at expos and stuff, when we get our hopes up, and then sometimes they don't entirely make it into these things, right? We have a lot of the wishes we had for Galaxy's Edge that didn't come to pan out, but they have kind of panned out on the Star Cruiser, so it really makes you think that maybe they'll incorporate some of those things further on experiences like that.
Yeah, I would hope so. I definitely would, because I don't know. I'm kind of one of those people that's a little bummed out that they reserved so much of that stuff for the Star Cruiser, you know, especially just because of how they touted Galaxy's Edge. But I don't know. That's besides the point. I think it's really cool for them to keep on evolving and getting better and better at how they tell their stories. I think that's exciting to hear. I think, you know, stuff like line dancing doesn't seem too exciting to me on the ship.
Right.
So like if they can like up their game and think of more story elements that could be in there, that sounds like a win-win for everybody.
And there's so much with Life Day, because they can like create like a holiday sort of ceremony around that and kind of like immerse people in that aspect of things, because I've seen some of the line dancing stuff too, and I'm like, I don't know how I personally would feel about that. For me, as you know, I am a pretty big like Star Wars nerd, and the way that it's being really marketed right now seems very much appealing as a gateway sort of experience. That, you know, I've always been like, well, what if they did like a spooky version of the Star Cruiser where you're like hunting Sith ghosts or something? Like,
Oh my
I
gosh.
would put $6,000 down for that, you know, where it's like deep into the lore of like the Sith and like kind of like more into like the horror aspect of it. But even just like, I'm also a holiday like nerd, so I would be really down to go for Life Day.
I'd be curious to see how many people would be into like forgoing the traditional Star Cruiser experience for like a more holiday oriented, like, you know, Christmas thing or something like that. Because, you know, for me personally, I feel like I would almost feel like I was missing out on some of the like stuff if I was going during a holiday. But I don't know. That remains to be seen. There's plenty of ways they can handle that stuff. So
It's big on the Disney Cruise Line. You know, Christmas cruises
true.
often sell out, so kind of makes you wonder if, like, hey, taking a cruise aboard the
Can you just
Halcyon.
like bring like a tree with you
Yeah.
on the Halcyon,
Life
and then
Day
you
tree?
like put it in your room and stuff, and
like
then
a tiny Christmas tree.
yeah,
Oh my God.
that'd be fun.
No.
Everybody does it on the cruise, don't they? Like people bring
They do.
on like trees and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they
It's a
decorate.
big tradition.
Yeah.
So maybe for the most hardcore of Star Wars fans, it will become a tradition for them too. So very exciting to hear that this is something they are going to attempt to incorporate and make a living, breathing, you know, resort that, or ship, if you will, so that it will be something that everybody can walk away from going wow over. And for that price tag, certainly they should.
Yes.
That's right. And thanks for bringing us that story this week. Moving along here, Walt Disney World is bringing back some fan favorites. Yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, Walt Disney World Resort, according to USA Today, is bringing back the Hoop-de-Doo musical review. Nearly as old as the Florida resort itself is coming back this summer to the Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground on June 23rd for the first time since the pandemic shut it down. Disney Parks announced this past week the Frontier-inspired dinner show debuted in 1974. Its return is the latest in a series of reveals in recent days. The coming returns of Disney World's minivan ride service, as well as Disney's cultural representative program, were also announced this past week. All great things to be sure. The Disney Programs is targeting an August return date for the cultural representatives. In addition to that, there are no specific return dates for the minivan service. That sort of like lift of Minnie and Disney variety, if you will. So you've got your minivans decorated to look like Minnie Mouse, and essentially a Disney cast member replaces a Lyft driver, but you still call for it in the Lyft app. With that in mind, Katrina, Hoop-de-Doo musical review coming back to us. First of all, how would you describe the Hoop-de-Doo to maybe someone who has never been?
I have never been. Please tell me.
Someone needs to know here. And do you think it's worth the price? Because it can be very expensive for someone to book.
Yeah, I mean, setting, right? It's like a pioneer in the frontier full of like comedy, fun skits and musicals where, you know, it's kind of pricey. There's like different categories, and like where you sit is like what the price is, I think, and like the time. And so for adults, it's like $66 to $74. For kids, it's $39 to like $44, depending on the category. And, you know, it's all you can eat food. So if you love eating like tons of food and just like, you know, like the home American barbecue stuff. So it's like fried chicken, barbecue ribs, a healthy
Is it
green
the
salad.
buckets of meat.
Yeah, and like you just
Yes.
get buckets on the table, and then you get like beans, and then there's like a secret macaroni and cheese that everybody like dies for that you have to ask for because it's only for children.
which I didn't get when I
And
went.
we didn't get it. We saw kids,
Gotta
and then they're
ask.
like, you could have asked for it, but now it's dessert time, so
Yeah, I
sorry,
didn't
guy.
know.
And we're like,
Didn't know.
no. And then they have like the cornbread, gluten-free cornbread for us. Super tasty. I had to get like seconds on it because it's actually really good.
Which resort is this at again?
And so what is it? Wilderness.
Fort Wilderness.
Fort
Campground.
Wilderness. I always call it Wilderness Lodge. And that
Yeah,
is
there's a
not
lot of
it.
wilderness,
Yeah.
a lot of wilderness names right in that area.
It is
Exactly.
really fun because there's like that's where people go and like do like the camping, or they have like the log cabins that you can rent, and then they have like the where you can bring your RV and stuff and park. So we did it during Halloween, right? And so everybody decorates outside of their campground. It's actually really neat to do before you go to dinner. Anyway, but so they have like their famous strawberry shortcake. So if you like it, then it's like it's like not all you can drink alcohol, but I mean they have
Pretty much.
It is.
unlimited
I mean, they'll
alcohol.
bring out,
and so it's like basic, wine and
Yeah.
then beer, and then there's like a sangria. So it's like it's nice. So if you know you're gonna have a couple drinks, you're gonna eat a lot and have a show along with it, it may be worth it, right? But if you have like picky eaters, if you don't really care for sitting and watching a show and whatnot, and you just like would rather eat, because they do come around to you. And me, I get very anxious when like people come to me, and so I'm just like eating and making sure my hands are as dirty as possible.
No eye contact.
And no eye contact, and and then just do my own thing so they don't look at me. And then also it just depends on where you sit, because I was irritated because I was sitting away from the stage a lot, and so I always just had to keep turning, and it was just really frustrating. So I just just drank my wine and ate my food and had my cornbread, and I was in my own little world. But I think it's fun for like kids, because I grew up with this kind of stuff in Oregon, so I'm used to it. So for me, this wasn't really worth it for me, because I'm just kind of like, fine, I saw it, one and done type thing. But it's fun for people that have never seen these kinds of things before, like on the frontier. So, and then especially like gluten-free cornbread, you can't go wrong. I mean, it's delicious.
That alone
Good
sells it.
gluten-free options, just in general.
Yeah, and then like the ribs are all gluten. Like everything, you get like basic roasted chicken. You don't get fried chicken, but that's okay, But I think it's it's fun for kids, because it's just it's fun to just go out, and then on top of it, if you do it during the holiday for Christmas or for Halloween, everybody in the RV area has their stuff decorated, so it's always fun just to kind of go walk around and
Absolutely.
just especially after dinner too. You're just like, you ate so much food, you're just like, what, let's just walk around and just see what kind of fun things that they have set up in front of their spot. So I would say.
And a great boat launch too, right nearby. That'll
Yeah.
take you to the Magic Kingdom, and
That's
yeah.
true.
Oh, cool.
Isn't
Very
that, well, that's
handy.
like, is that by the Pioneer Hall? Is that like on
Yeah.
the, oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a short walk over.
Yeah.
That's right. So
fun.
it's nearest the shores for the sake of convenience. So if you get an opportunity, definitely something you might want to potentially book. I know it's a big tradition for a lot of families. It's become something over the course of decades that has been just so much fun for people to go do. So thank you, Katrina, for that. Hoop-de-doo coming back this summer. In addition to that, the EPCOT and Walt Disney World Cultural Representative Program, bringing back people from the nations that are represented not just at EPCOT, but in places like Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, bringing folks that might best represent that culture and that environment, are also coming back for the first time. And Tyler, how important are the cultural representatives to the overall Walt Disney World experience? Since the pandemic took hold and sort of shut everything down, a lot of those cultural representatives, the program faded away, and we started getting Florence from St. Cloud at the Germany pavilion, rather than somebody from Germany helping us out.
Exactly. Yeah. No offense to the Floridians, but we don't really want you in the in the World Showcase. I think the representatives are super important. I think it's you're there enjoying that country's culture in every single way except for like the actual people, right? So there's the food, there's the surrounding like areas, the architecture, the merchandise. Just the one thing that tips it over the edge is those wonderful people that come from all over the world. And so I think they're incredibly important, and I'm really excited for them to come back and have, some more fun with us in Disney World, because it's been a part that's been missing for sure.
Well, yeah, and they're able to wear the costumes. Like their costumes are representative towards the country, and
Right.
everybody that right now is working there is not wearing those because they
They all
can't.
have the flag
So it
shirts
doesn't
on.
look the same.
Yeah, not nearly as authentic. I mean, because there's nothing more authentic than lederhosen.
That's right.
Thank you very much. That's right. Yeah. That's the culture I want to rub up against. Thank you very much. All right, moving along here from the East Coast back to the West Coast, Disneyland Resort style. Big news coming out of Disneyland as a certain classic attraction is about to get a retheme once again. The Orange County Register reporting that a fleet of X-Wings, TIE Fighters, and Star Destroyers are heading back to Disneyland with the return of Hyperspace Mountain as the Anaheim theme park prepares for a series of Star Wars nights and the Star Wars celebration. The Space Mountain indoor roller coaster will close for one day on April 28th and reopen as Hyperspace Mountain for a limited time starting on April 29th. According to Disneyland officials, Disneyland hasn't said how long Hyperspace Mountain will stay in Tomorrowland this time, but if history is any gauge they write, you can expect the popular Star Wars overlay to stick around for a while. And with this in mind, Sabina, our resident Star Wars geek and all things expert at the Star Wars universe, let me push up my glasses here. Of all the overlays that we've seen of the iconic attraction Space Mountain, that is, how would you rate Hyperspace Mountain in sort of the sort? I am a big fan of something that we haven't seen in a long time, and that is Rockin' Space Mountain. I don't know if you all ever experienced that.
I never got to, but I've heard many things about it.
Yes.
I've heard many good things and many bad things.
I
It's
enjoyed it a good deal, let me tell you.
Yeah,
Wouldn't mind if it came back.
a Sith would.
Oh, spicy.
There's only Jedi in this heart, I'm telling you. But Sabina, where would you rate it? What do you think of Hyperspace Mountain?
I mean, John Williams' music in Space Mountain just easily. I feel like I'm biased in that way. So, for me, it ranks really highly. I'm just really excited that we're getting these overlays back again. We haven't gotten Ghost Galaxy yet. I think last year we didn't at all, and it's just been just regular Space Mountain, which is really solid with its really awesome soundtrack. But I'm happy to see that different overlays are coming back to Tomorrowland, which definitely needs some love, as we all know. I hope this bodes well for the area, and it kind of does feel that for Celebration it makes sense, but then it kind of also seems like the outskirts of the park are Star Wars, so
Yeah.
there needs to definitely be maybe a little bit more of a mix of things happening with overlay. And like Wade, you're saying about Rock and Coaster, I mean, that is like totally something that they could do with other musicians as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good sign. I'm just happy things are coming back.
Let me know in the comments if you're somebody that ever experienced Rockin' Space Mountain, because I feel like so few people did, or at least so few people remember it at least. So
it was like it was only a very
It
short
was a
time,
very
right?
short time. It
Yeah.
was Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
but
both, right?
I think so. but
Rockin' in Space.
I don't know if they just stopped it because people were complaining or if it was supposed to be I'm not trying to throw shade at you, Wade. Like I like I said, I've never done it, and I think I probably would have liked it, but I know that the consensus was that it wasn't the favorite overlay. But yeah, I don't know. I think Hyperspace Mountain's awesome too, so I hope they do more. You're right.
Sounds of a Sith. We heard it right there. Thank you very much. Who's the real Sith in this room? I don't know. I get a feeling it might be coming from
Goodness.
way over there.
Nah, couldn't be me.
Hard to tell.
I
At
like
any
red
rate,
swords though.
we move on into New Orleans Square at Disneyland, where the Orange County Register is reporting that the famed Bayou ambiance and waterside setting of Disneyland's Blue Bayou restaurant has been temporarily hidden behind construction walls as the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction undergoes a seasonal refurbishment. The Blue Bayou restaurant in New Orleans Square at the Anaheim theme park will close for refurbishment beginning on April 21st, according to Disneyland officials. And until then, patrons will find blue and white construction walls separating the dining area from the dark ride Bayou. Yeah, you won't be able to see Pirates of the Caribbean. Disneyland kept the Blue Bayou fan favorite experience open during the Pirates of the Caribbean renovation to accommodate as many guests as possible, according to Disney officials. And Pirates of the Caribbean closed on March 14th for a seasonal refurbishment that is scheduled to be complete before Fantasmic returns on May the 28th. During the ride closure, Disneyland is working to improve traffic flow in the New Orleans Square area along the rivers of America ahead of the return of the nighttime spectacular. And currently, there is no set time in which the Blue Bayou will be returning. I would imagine that it will probably come back just prior to summer in order to accommodate the massive crush of crowds that will no doubt be descending upon Disneyland to see Fantasmic once again. Katrina, Blue Bayou is already one of the hardest to secure reservations at Disneyland, and when it loses its signature view of pirates like it has, what would you say are some of the selling points of dining there now? I mean, it might be a little easier potentially to get a reservation now that you know you're not going to have that epic view.
If people research it, yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think they'd be very, very angry if they walk in and they see those hideous walls.
Yeah.
I guess the one reason why I would go would be probably to get a glass of wine.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah.
I don't know. They have like limited alcohol in there now. You got to pay a pretty penny for the food. Honestly, I don't think it's worth it at the moment. Cancel your reservations, in my opinion, if you do have them, because it's not worth it. They don't even have surf and turf anymore in the menu.
Oh,
It's true.
And scalloped potatoes off the menu, mashed potatoes. Who does this? Monsters.
Walt would be
Monsters.
churning in his urn.
Chapek, that's who.
He would.
That's who.
But you know, it's not worth it right now. Cancel your reservations. There's really nothing to really say like you need to go there right now and go eat it, because if it's the Monte Cristo, yes, they serve it there at lunch. You can also get it over at Cafe Orleans. So it's not. There's really like nothing to do right now. So cancel your
hang in
reservations. So yeah.
All right.
Wait. Just wait.
That's your trusted theme park perspective right there. Katrina Manzoni, ladies and gentlemen. Travel agent extraordinaire.
The truth.
Travel agent to the stars, even. A lot of people don't know that.
This star right there.
That's right. Tyler Crouch. He's
That's me.
What the kids call a big deal. Thank you for that.
I've never heard anybody say that to me before.
Everyone
but
says
I
it.
believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah, all the kids tell me that. Moving along here, Disney parks bringing back some character loving. That's right. Yahoo News is reporting character meetings are coming back to Disney World and Disneyland this spring for the first time since the COVID-19 pandemic shut them down 2 years ago. Disney's U.S. theme park locations will begin reintroducing the quintessential Disney entertainment experience as soon as April 18th, according to a blog post from Disney Live Entertainment's senior communications manager, Sean Slater. The return will be conducted in phases, scheduled to begin in the spring and last through early summer, meaning not every location will have them immediately. So keep that in mind. It is a phased reopening. This exciting milestone continues the recent powerful momentum of returning entertainment across the Disney parks and resorts, Slater wrote in the blog post. And Walt Disney World, of course, is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Up until this point, Disney World and Disneyland have been doing distanced character meet and greets. However, Walt Disney World moving forward a little bit quicker than Disneyland has in terms of bringing characters back indoors and bringing them back in a space where you can get a little bit closer. However, it sounds like we are now getting even closer literally to these characters. In addition to that, getting closer date and time wise for the sake of bringing back so many of these character interactions the way that they used to be in a traditional sense. Tyler, we watched viral videos from the last 2 years of children being sort of cut off at the pass, unfortunately, from being able to hug their favorite character. You know, what does it mean to have the traditional meet and greets coming back?
Well, you know, I'm going to be honest. I've never been one of the people that like loves to hug Mickey every time I go to the parks, you know, but at the same time, I understand how important it is for so many other people. And like you were mentioning, kids, I mean, it is kind of sad to see these kids who have the you know, they don't have the understanding of why they can't hug Mickey or anything like that. And yeah, the heartbreaking videos of cast members being like, no, get away. Like,
You will stand down.
Yeah, exactly. That's always been a bummer. So I'm really happy for families to be able to have their kids give hugs again. That's going to be like a lot of beautiful moments all over the place. And for myself though, you know, just because I'm not necessarily the biggest hugger, I'm still excited to be able to take pictures with these characters again. Like, I think that's really been missing, and especially if you go to something like, you know, Goofy's Kitchen, and you can't even, you know,
Right.
and you can't.
That is
it's
tough.
like that's like half of the reason you're paying is for the, you know, for the individual entertainment that you get from these characters, and they can't do that. So it's good to have that back. I just hope that they keep some of the long distance
Yes.
character kind of interactions as well, because I mean, come on, seeing Winnie the Pooh running around trying to catch butterflies over in Disney World is like one of the cutest damn things in the world. And so they need to continue doing stuff like that. And because it's almost like, its own version of streetmosphere, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's a great way to put
when
it.
you have like this, when you have bands and things playing out in Main Street, it makes it feel alive. And if you have the characters walking around doing things, you know, not quite interacting with people, but doing their own thing, like Goofy fishing off the wharf, you know, it brings more life and story to the park. So I hope they continue doing the distanced things as well. But
I've greatly enjoyed that myself, seeing so many of these distanced character experiences adding something to the experience.
for
you know,
sure.
more so than just being I can't get up close to them to get an autograph, or I can't get up close to them to have a picture side by side. I have to have them, 6 feet behind me or something. There is such a great testament to the quality of storytelling in how they've managed to develop a lot of these character interactions that have to be distanced out now, that it's made the experience overall better. And Sabina, either coast, what character meet and greet would you say is the best?
Oh my goodness. I would have to go with Tyler's sort of take on it, because at Disney World you have Winnie the Pooh running around trying to catch butterflies. Alice was over in the gardens as well. And we had something kind of similar here at Haunted Mansion Holiday, where Jack and Sally were on the balcony of the mansion and interacting with guests in the queue. And I thought that was incredible. It lends itself to that streetmosphere that was really needed for that area. And I honestly have taken way more pictures with characters in the past couple years, because I can just like pop by and just like, take my selfie and then like move along, and have had like really fun interactions with characters. Although I do see the importance of having, that opportunity for children to meet their favorite characters, and just how much of a milestone it is for families that are on vacation. I recently went to Tusker House, and I was a little bummed because I just got to see them run around dancing by my table.
It's a little weird, huh?
And it's a little weird. So, to like be able to pay for those experiences again and kind of have like the individual sort of like interaction is something I greatly look forward to.
Yeah, same here. Looking forward to not only having traditional character experiences back, but hopefully, and we'll probably be hearing it here within the next month or two, Halloween parties, potentially some Christmas parties coming online for the sake of both Disneyland and Disney World. Late spring is usually when they announce it, so looking forward to hearing when those parties pop up, and hopefully the traditional character experiences and interactions will be there during those events as well. So definitely looking forward to it. What are you looking forward to most of all? Which character do you want to give a big old hug to? Let us know in our comments section. As always, your perspective, especially on matters of huggability. Oh, your perspective does matter. You stick around. More Kingdom Report live for you, and Do It or Ditch It next. Remember those carefree days of childhood where the magic still existed? When you didn't feel guilty about eating mountains of cereal with, we'll just say, questionable nutrition? Well, now you can have your cereal and you can eat it too. Because Magic Spoon has re-engineered that same great taste with grown-up ingredients for an absolutely game-changing Cereal 2.0. I adore cereal. I treasure cereal. It's one of my favorite things to eat, but I just can't justify eating mounds of sugar in every bowl. I don't need to worry about that with Magic Spoon, because it's high protein, low carb, and 0 grams of sugar in each serving. I know, it's hard to believe, but it also comes in 6 delicious flavors: frosted, fruity, cocoa, cinnamon, blueberry, and peanut butter. Plus, they've got limited edition flavors released throughout the year, like gingerbread or peaches and cream. So taste that magic of childhood all over again and get yourself some Magic Spoon cereal. Plus, take $5 off your order at checkout. All you got to do is insert the promo code Kingdom Team. That's right, Kingdom Team at checkout will get you $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com. That's magicspoon.com. Promo code Kingdom Team. Do It or Ditch It time. Do It or Ditch It time is here. This is where we take a look at an attraction between the Disney parks and ask out loud, is it worth doing or ditching? And today's big attraction happens to be out at Walt Disney World. It happens to be in EPCOT. It happens to be in the France Pavilion, and that is Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. On July 15th, 2017, Disney Parks announced during its D23 Expo presentation that a duplicate of the ride from Disneyland Paris would come to EPCOT's France Pavilion at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida in 2020. Construction began in November of the same year. With land clearing after construction delays and the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the attraction opened on October 1st, 2021, on the 50th anniversary of Walt Disney World and the 39th anniversary of EPCOT. The trackless ride system uses physical, larger-than-life sets and screens to make you feel like you've been shrunk down to rat size and are on quite the adventure. Tyler Crouch, Katrina Manzoni, Sabina Graves, and returning for the first time this year, Walt Disney World reporter Garrett Hassel, all with us here to discuss whether or not Remy's Ratatouille adventure
Garrett
is worth doing or
guys.
ditching. Oh, hi, Garrett.
Hey, what's up? How you guys doing?
Oh,
Like in the
I'm
studio
feeling
with you.
fresh, non-Sith-like, and the whatnot.
Yeah,
Sith
no,
would
That's what a
say.
Sith would say. Yeah,
I've been
exactly.
Just saying.
doing psyche vows on the whole situation, so don't worry, I'll give my notes later about who's a Sith and who isn't, and
Oh,
who's
good.
just delusional.
I'm glad. Well, speaking of delusion, I'm thinking you should speak French for us right now and tell us what the name of this attraction is in France. What do they call it there?
I actually was rehearsing it while you were talking, just so I could get it right. So it is Ratatouille, l'aventure totalement touquet de Remy, or Ratatouille, the zany adventure of Remy. That's pretty much what
Wow,
it is. So
that was so
l'aventure,
romantic.
Yeah.
totalement touquet de Remy.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh.
Look out, ladies.
I love
That's
this
about as
man.
much as
Oh.
I got.
He's got to watch out for me too.
My goodness. You know what? Tyler,
Oh,
not
yeah,
into
do
those huggable
fromage.
meet and greets, but when it comes to Garrett,
I will hug Garrett all day long.
there we go. Hold him close.
I'll hug you too, honey.
Oh
There we
yeah.
go. Wow. Well, it's getting really
We should just
uncomfortable in here.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to get our own room soon. So.
Maybe your own boxes together on screen. What do you think? Well,
Katrina,
Garrett, let's.
next time you got to scoot over, I'm gonna sit there. You can sit here.
That's,
I know. I'm out. I'm leaving.
yeah.
No,
could-
just scooch over to the middle section, the
Yeah.
gluten-free gals.
I believe the engagement is
you
over.
go.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
over.
Yeah, he's about to get engaged to somebody else at this point. Garrett, tell us. We're gonna start with you here. Remy's Ratatouille
Okay.
Adventure, Epcot, worth doing or ditching?
Absolutely worth doing it. I got to do the original version out in Disneyland Paris, and it was amazing. Here, while the location seems kind of cramped in a corner, it is a lot of fun. It's a zany ride. It uses a trackless ride system, which it's not that common still at Disney, and I love every moment of this. And I love how they kept it true to the French culture, because in Disneyland Paris, they mix English and French speaking in this, but it's not that everyone can understand it, whether you're American or French. You can understand what's going on, because they might do an example where it's like crepe. No, that's too simple, and then they'll say a little bit in English, and so the story is seamless. It doesn't get caught up in like mistranslation, and the effects are amazing. And even when I went on it, masks were required on board, and you could smell everything through the mask. Like when you're going into spoilers, you go into a fridge for a little bit, you can smell all the different scents around there, whether that's fish or produce, and it's simply amazing. And even though I've went on it before, when I went on the one at Epcot, I was blown away. I forgot about some moments, and I got scared for a while. I was like, because Skinner, he's looking for you because you're a mouse, and people don't like mice in kitchens for some reason. Or sorry, rat. People don't like rats.
People
in
love
kitchens.
mice.
Yeah.
They hate
People
rats.
do love mice in kitchens, but rats not so much. But yeah,
tail.
this is totally worth doing. I highly recommend it on busy days. The line may be long, but I promise it's an amazing experience and completely lets you connect with everyone's favorite rat, Remy.
There you go. We got to do it. Let's head on over to theme park journalist Sabina Graves. Quite a fan of the Epcot, given her appearance here today.
Yes.
Who are you wearing? Is it a theme park?
It is a wall. I think a construction wall design. I love the colors. It's great. But yeah, no, for this ride in particular, I actually did get to go during the 50th, like on opening, and did a friends group trip, and we were very fortunate enough to like land those boarding passes. We waited, I think, only four hours from park opening over to when we were actually able to go on the ride. and I loved it. I know it's like the blueprint of these rides that are trackless, but I think it's so charming, and I love the film, and it's just such a special moment with friends that I will forever will try to make it a point to ride it if the line's not that crazy. I think that as far as like Lightning Lane, if I would pay extra, I'm unsure if I would. I think I would reserve it for rides that have like a longer loading queue. Like personally, I would love to play Lightning Lane for Soarin' Over California because that line can get intense.
Yeah.
That's terrific advice, especially with the Lightning Lane there. Let's jump on over to Tyler now. Do it or ditch it. Remy's, you got to board a rat, go scurrying across Paris and restaurants and whatnot.
Yeah, I think I've been hard on this ride in the past, definitely, especially because before this opened, I'd been on the one in Paris, and I think that it was touted so highly in Paris that I was just like, oh, I can't wait for this ride. And then it has a few issues, like just the black floor that you can constantly see and stuff. But when I went on it a few more times at EPCOT, I really started gaining more appreciation for it.
Oh, wow.
I really did. And I think it is actually very cute little ride. It's got a lot of great details. This scene right now that you're going through is like the one big physical set, which I wish there was a little bit more physical sets. But it is really cute and it's really fun. And I would say that it's definitely worth your time. I think that just... It does things that no other ride in Disney World does, which I think, with the trackless stuff, which I think is a really good, it's really cool technology. So, yeah, I would say do it. I don't know if I would pay for the Lightning Lane. Like Sabina said, I think there's better places to spend your money if you really want to do Lightning Lane, because from what I've seen, that line actually doesn't get much. I think the longest I've seen
it has a good flow.
Yeah,
for loading.
Yeah, it really does, and I've seen it at like an hour usually, which I think is totally worth the wait. So yeah, do it. Don't ditch it. Do it.
Fantastic. All right. And Katrina, we know how you love them rats.
Yes.
So tell us, does their ride hold up?
Yeah. I think it's really great. I think it's cute, like what Tyler said, what everybody said. I think it's a really cute, quaint ride, and especially like for kids and stuff, I think it's really fun when you're going into the refrigerator and then you see all these like creepy little eyes just stare at you in the darkness, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. And I think that's really enjoyable. Also, I kind of agree that Lightning Lane, it's a little steep for a family of 4 to pay. I mean, if you have the extra money to spend, by all means, then go ahead and do it. But if you don't and you don't mind waiting for like an hour or so, then I would just wait in the normal queue. But yeah, I would say do it.
Excellent. So it sounds like 4 do-its all around.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Garrett, you speaking Parisian to us, that French Parisian dialect.
It's speaking American just with a really good accent.
That's what it's falling with style.
Yeah.
That's
that's
really what it
yeah,
is.
absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, now you've heard from us. It's a bunch of do-its all the way around. You tell us, does it matter to you whether or not you got to have a Lightning Lane for this? Is that something that you would pay for? Is that something that you would need in order to get on this attraction? Or are you willing to wait a few hours potentially to experience Remy's Ratatouille adventure? Is it a do it or a ditch it from you? Let us know in our comment section. As always, we appreciate hearing what's on your mind. All right, my friends, you stick around. There's more Kingdom Report Live for you straight ahead.
Looking for some digital magic to help you through your week? The Kingdom Report is here for you, covering the latest Disneyland and Disney World news, experiences, and events. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Kingdom Report Live so you never miss an update. And drop a subscribe on the Kingdom Report YouTube channel for new videos every week.
Yeah.
Don't miss out. Join this growing community of theme park fans as we aim to connect you to more of what makes you happy.
Yeah.
For more information, visit KingdomReportLive.com. And now, back to the magic.
It is time for the one thing, and this week's one thing is all about a question we are posing to Disney CEO and all-around great guy, Captain Charisma himself, the man of a million strengths, the person who understands PR better than anyone, and the fella that just couldn't be avoided when it came to naming somebody as a replacement for Bob Iger. It's our one question for Disney CEO Bob Chapek. If we had one shot to ask this guy a question, here's what we'd ask. We're going to start with theme park analyst Tyler Crouch. You got one shot to ask this guy something. What are you going to ask him?
Well, it's kind of something that I think has been on everybody's mind for quite a while. Who does his hair?
Yeah. No. I've always wondered that myself. Who waxes that?
Who does that?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bobby.
Goodness gracious.
I thought I'd get Garrett with that one. No, but seriously, I think the number one question that I would want to ask him is, how does he feel about all this kind of fan vitriol that's been going on? And, well, I guess this is kind of a second question, but no, it's all in the same, right? Does he think it's justified? Does he think that, he's doing a good job? Does he think that the fans are overblowing things? Does, that's kind of all I got. I just feel like I'd be really curious to hear, because he never talks about this stuff publicly. I would really be curious to hear how he feels about knowing that he's like the most hated man in Disney.
I don't know how you could say such a thing.
Maybe even America. No.
Wow.
No, I can think of other people I hate a lot more than Bob Chapek.
No. He's so lovable, though. I mean, weren't you the one that made the I Heart Chapek t-shirts at the beginning of his reign? I thought that was you.
Yeah, it said, I love thumbs. That's what it said.
I love thumbs. Yeah, that's right. Bob, what are you doing here? What's going on? So we asked you, our Kingdom Report audience, if you had one shot to ask Bob Chapek a question, what would you ask? Some of these are a little scathing. Some of these are gentle. But at any rate, here's what you had to say. First up, Josue said, has all of that money been worth losing the magic of Disney? That would be their question. Angel says, when are you going to resign so we can get someone at the head of the company who isn't a heartless, glorified penny pincher? Ryan says, will you please step down? Will you please step down? Susanna says, why are you the way that you are?
Susanna, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Doug ends up saying, I'd ask of Lex Luthor why he hasn't left when thousands of people have made it clear that he is a disgrace to the legacy of Walt Disney and damaging to the company.
Money.
And Joshua says, can you show us that you genuinely care about your customers with the constant price gouging and commitment to contributing to problematic political campaigns? I'm growing deeply concerned for the company under your reign. Goodness gracious. There are more of your one questions coming up here in just a second, but we're going to jump over to our Walt Disney World reporter, Garrett Hassel, standing by for us with his one question for Bob Chapek. What are you going to ask the guy?
Yeah. I think he gets a bad rap. I just want to know simply what's his favorite ice cream flavor. Like, that's done and out. Like, ice cream flavor tells a lot about a person. But
simple.
In all seriousness, probably has like bubblegum flavored ice cream or something.
Bubblegum flavor, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The worst.
The
worst one.
He dislikes vanilla.
Some disgusting flavor that has
Black
no
licorice.
purpose. Like if he said mint chocolate chip, I would take those privileges away because that's my favorite. You don't.
Now we know.
You don't damage mint chocolate chip. But yeah. In all seriousness, it would be. What's the reason behind moving Imagineering from California, as well as losing senior Imagineers, which then leads to a loss of leadership and, history? Like, Imagineering for me is such a deep part of the company. It's the reason why the parks look the way they do and why they have this culture and spirit around them. It's because the Imagineers put their blood, sweat, and tears, to make a place where you can escape reality and go someplace different. And by shipping it, from, I don't know the area code, but to shipping it to 407 area code, I don't know if that's going to solve the issue. And when you have people, like like Joe Rody, like, you know, probably one of the most visionary people ever, or Tony Baxter, you know, no longer, you know, helming this great department that Walt and Iger and all these other, and even Eisner, all the great CEOs, you know, put on a pedestal. Like, these people are now gone. And so they're kind of just doing this copy and paste. And I know that they have cheerleaders in Imagineering like Zach Ridley, who's doing a good job promoting, but it's not like it was before where Imagineering spoke for itself. It didn't always need a spokesperson. So I just wonder, like, why are you taking away the creative people and putting them in a swamp?
Very good, and certainly a lot of Imagineers and a lot of folks that are being asked to move from California out to Florida for the Lake Nona project, as it's being called, Lake Nona campus, that I believe was 2,000 different employees were being asked to move from California out to Florida. You know, I guess number one, when I initially heard that, I thought, well, that's exciting for the sake of, is there about to be a huge investment in Florida all of a sudden? That's what made me think, whoa, they might be going a direction of really expanding and adding a lot of things. But at the same time, to not really have an option for employees whether or not they want to stay in California. I know many decided, I mean, they have lives here, they have families here, you know, they have relationships here that really matter to them, and being forced to go out to Florida. I know personally some Imagineers that I was close to that had no other choice, and they said, I don't want to do anything else in life, but I also don't want to move across the country and leave everybody behind. You know, this is not something that I wanted to deal with. So that's a great question.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Thanks, you know, but the ice cream one, that one's pretty daunting.
How's chocolate chip cookie dough for you?
I can get behind that. I dig some chocolate chip cookie dough, but, you know, mint chocolate chip, like, that's been since the get-go. That's what my mom got me at Baskin Robbins in Lodi.
Wow.
And, you know, that was the thing.
Okay.
And, you know, occasionally I'll do peppermint, like for the holiday season.
Just throw some chocolate chips in your mouth and brush your teeth. It's the same thing.
Yes, it's practically the same thing. Yep. Lodi, California, the place where champions are made.
Absolutely. 209, baby.
209, baby. That's right. So we continue with some of your questions for Bob Chapek that you left on the youtube.com/Kingdom Report community page. Rob says, I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
Good question.
Straightforward.
Very straightforward. D says, I would ask him to explain why he has such a poor perspective on cast members. Mateo says, after a decade of Disney exceptionalism, how do you sleep at night? Tempur-Pedic or Sleep Number? Jen says, what are the long-term and short-term objectives of the leadership of the Walt Disney Company at this time? I'd be interested in hearing that as well. You know, earlier this week, he was supposed to do a big presentation, a big executive retreat, to sort of set the tone for the company and the Chapek era of what the short-term and long-term goals were going to be. However, Disney's kind of in a PR nightmare right now and dealing with all kinds of hell from all sides of aisles, and so that has been postponed. So I don't even think the executives that work at the company quite know what the short-term and long-term objectives are going to be right now. We continue here. Lucy says, I would want to know why he and his managers have taken the magic away from Disneyland. It was my favorite place to go, but his bottom line of screwing over guests to line his pockets, rather, has ruined it for me. I won't return, but hey, he's got guests that like to brawl now, so good job.
Oh,
Certainly
boy.
we've seen here in the last few months several viral videos of guests beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
So, you know, pack your patience and let's not do that anymore.
That's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing. It
That's
sure seems like it. Yeah.
That's the sixth key is Fight Club.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
That's right.
and we don't
We're
talk
not
about the
supposed to
sixth
talk
key.
about it.
That's why you don't see it.
No, exactly.
That's why you don't see the key.
Down. Yeah.
Good call, Garrett.
Just like
Absolutely.
just like the whole Aladdin rule too. We don't talk about that.
Yeah. Aladdin can kill people, according to a viral
Oh boy.
company policy script that I don't think is real at all.
Yeah, it
but
doesn't
anyway,
seem
it's out there. Yeah, it's out there. It's wild. Don't believe everything you see. My gosh. And finally, 8-Bit says, I'd ask why there is not a price adjustment when all standard Disney amenities are not available. If half The park is under construction or rides are down. The price should reflect those missing factors. Can't say I disagree on that one, especially when you got Toontown offline, half of Tomorrowland missing in action, and New Orleans Square all boarded up right now at Disneyland.
COVID gave a great excuse to a lot of these companies to offer a lesser product for more of a price. It's not just Disney. But anyway.
Very true.
That's a whole another subject.
Well, we move on over to Katrina. One question for Bob Chapek. What are you asking?
All right. Bob.
Bobby.
Mr. Chapek. Thumb, if you will.
Prince of Peace.
Okay. I'm going to kind of go with what I did last week. If you could change one decision you made since being CEO, what would it be and why?
Very nice.
Okay.
He hasn't been CEO for very long, and so
might not be for much longer.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll see about that. And moving along to Sabina, one question for Bobby C.
Oh, out of so many.
Bobby C.
How dare you? I mean, yeah, actually, it's kind of how dare you. I kind of feel that with some of the statements he has made, there's been like a big erasure of big members of the Disney legacy. Personally, I think Howard Ashman is the reason why Disney and the magic that we have in the parks is where it's at, as we know it, and I think that erasing him as a gay icon and what he has done for the company erases, like a bridge of understanding. And, we live in a time where there's a lot of misunderstanding about people and the communities they belong to, and kind of, highlighting this really big figure that has been the reason why we go to a park, we listen to music from The Little Mermaid, it makes us feel magical, and it's a missed opportunity to really try to continue to build bridges of understanding. And how dare you not mention what he has done for the company and try to brush it off by saying we do a lot for the LGBTQIA company or the community, and they have done so much for Disney as we know and love.
Definitely has a lot of bridges to build and repair. Certainly has divided not only the Disney cast member base, but also the Disney consumer base, as we've been seeing raging across the past week. Hashtag boycott Disney is now a thing. The Disney company is just dealing with a fire in every possible position. So this is a great time to ask you, what one question would you have for Bob Chapek? You let us know in the comment section. As always, we appreciate your perspective. All right, friends, that about brings things to a close here today. But before we get out of here, we do like to remind you, you can win your very own Kingdom Report mug. All you got to do is leave a comment underneath this very video on our YouTube channel, the Kingdom Report live show. As soon as it's done being live, you can leave the comment with the phrase that pays this week. Phrase that pays? Space Mountain. Space Mountain is the phrase that pays this week. Leave it underneath this very video, between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time to get your very own Kingdom Report mug. If you are the winner, we will reach out to you, celebrate you for a moment, and then say what color you want, where we send in this baby, so you can sip right along with us. It means so much being a part of your weekend and being a part of your life in any capacity. Lots of great content over at the Kingdom Report YouTube channel all throughout the week, not just here on the Saturday show. So please be a part of it. If you're not subscribed, do so now. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. And if we've earned it, thumbs up button is always appreciated. And for the Kingdom Report, I want to say, hey. We'll see you next week, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, for an all-new Kingdom Report Live. A big thanks to Garrett Hassel, Tyler Crouch, Sabina Graves, and Katrina Manzoni for being a part of today's broadcast. And the legacy of Walt Disney, it lives on because of people like you and me. See you next week.